Hello, and welcome to Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Let's start with part one, the the Shamutanti Hills. Begin our adventure. And I feel like we. You walk the wilds of Kakaba, Bukara, and these fateful backlands. I want to turn down the volume, but I can't. There we go. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Shalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Do we take the crown, or shall we wait? With the crown in your hands, you will be as powerful as Shalana. The goblins are arming, the giants are waking, and the birdmen carving cruel daggers in stone. War will come, but you will prevent it. But then the image of the crown begins to flicker. You rush forwards. It's a trap! And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Part 1. The Shamatani Hills. Alright. For anything else, every time we go to adjust the audio, so we can either have no in-game audio at all, have it be super incredibly quiet to the point that OBS might not even pick it up, or have it be so loud that it's louder than us trying to shout over top of it. Oh well, so be it. It is sunrise. You dress, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. So, Zara, what shall we do?
Um, let's test the blade.
You pause to test the blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life.
Well, now let's pray for luck.
Taking a moment more, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning, it has the form of a panther, but what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Time, then, to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Whee! Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamatani wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Azura?
Sorry, my computer is. Greet them.
You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the walls, so they believe you to be cursed. A man is waiting on the path to the Cantapani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster Warriors. He holds out his hand.
Greetings.
Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with two fingers. You're almost ready, my lady, he says. I have for you a gift from the king, 24 gold pieces. It is all we can spare this time. He holds out a pouch.
Let's take half.
You take the bag and count out half the coins and return the rest. The king will need them should I fail, you declare. You chose a harder path, but I respect you for it, the Sightmaster replies. You must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you, and should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. And he points with his staff towards the training ground. Spellbook, rations, or training ground?
Spellbook.
One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in the different locations, in the hills and beyond.
Let's go inside.
You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Do you understand how to use this? He asks.
Tell me.
Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars, he begins. The spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Argus, and Pini. But that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Buff will create a force field around you. Shall I continue?
Tell me more.
Ain't nothing but a heartache. The mage nods. The law spell is formed when Lilith, Aegis, and Rex, and it will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. I hope you're taking notes. The wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You'll find the rest in the book, he adds, tapping the leather-bound volume.
Thank you.
He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item of some kind. You'll need to read the book to know what.
Okay. Let's go train.
Training ground. You walk with the surgeon to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather.
Ready.
To begin, the surgeon says, you will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. There we go. Defend. The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sightmaster Sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. I will now defend myself, he says. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. You should choose a weak attack.
Okay.
You swing with a weak attack, rushing for the Sightmaster Sergeant who is defending. Good choice. A stronger attack would have wasted more of your power. I'll defend myself again, he says. You play a low attack, overpowering the Sight Master Sergeant again, who raises his defense. You played carefully and won that round. Well done. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. If you can perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise you had best defend yourself. So,
Lunge.
do we go or
Yeah,
do we defend?
all the way.
Too bad. Yeah. Avoid strong attacks unless you are confident of winning. My next attack will be weak, he declares. You will be able to overpower me by playing a stronger attack, but be sure your attack is stronger.
Okay.
Do we feel confident?
Cut.
Oh yeah, we feel confident. Make a medium attack, overpower the Sight Master Sergeant. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. So, basically speaking, if you spend more energy than they do on an attack, you win the attack. But if someone spends 0, they will take 1 stamina in damage.
Right.
As long as the other person attacks.
Okay.
Good with the training?
That's probably enough.
Very good. The sergeant agrees, but if you wish to about in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. Indicates the wider yard where there is space for a true match.
Ooh.
Right in the yard, approach the gate or buy rations.
Rations.
Small traders in the settlement supply the Sight Master warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. Go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbreads and cheese. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says.
Haggle. What happened?
I don't know, I hit haggle. There we go. Haggle. Do you know who I am? I'm Analan's great new hope, you tell him. The man looks uncomfortable. I know that, but I have to feed my family today, whatever happens to the crown.
Alright, let's buy 2 rations.
Hand over your coins, the man places 2 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but is not necessary. Find the yard or approach the gate.
Alright. Sorry, other people are trying to get my attention too. Let's go to the gate.
You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you. But you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the Dop spell to be crafted. And he stands back. Cast a spell! Dop opens locks and doors. Requires 1 stamina.
Cool.
You weave the spell one by one. The great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on a canvas roof. These gates have not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels.
If I overtake him.
The Sight Master nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He claps you on the shoulder. Together, you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching.
I understand.
I will not wish you a safe journey to Kai, but the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Saint Master Warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see.
Tell me what lies ahead.
This path leads first to Cantopani, a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to Chrysatanti, but no single route is safe. Kakabad is a land of devils.
Eric, and beyond?
I cannot see so far, he says, but once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night they are controlled by forces other than the sun, and from here too, your progress will be watched. It is time to go. You thank him, you pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. The path winds to the slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but we do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. Stupid creatures. They pose no threat, so you ignore them. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamotanti hills are infested with the pestilence of the Bachlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Cover your mouth or keep walking.
Cover my mouth.
You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here, but for the moment you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina has decreased.
Oh dear.
Travel cross country or a low rise.
Low rise.
Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Cantopani.
Look at the village.
From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few penned animals are thin and wizened like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors didn't trouble themselves to protect this place. There's nothing here to protect.
Oof.
Avoid the village or enter the village.
Let's enter.
Of course, if you are scared of a town like Kantapani, then you cannot hope to survive in Kaklabad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of a hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants. But then, a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path.
Look at him.
He is 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has thick-set arms and thighs and is half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, his long red hair and beard stand out from his face at a wiry angle. "Halt, stranger," he commands. "What business have you in Kantapani?"
I need directions.
"To where?" he demands. "I'm on my way to here, you say. I've never traveled this road before." "I have myself never left this village," the man declares with pride. "Although I can tell you there are 2 paths ahead, but my advice is not free. You must have money on you. For a gold piece I'll tell you what I know."
I will find out for myself for nothing.
So what worth is your advice? The man shrugs. That you will find out for yourself then. And he stands aside to let you move on by. You stride on into the very center of the village. There are a few larger houses here, even Cantopani has its nobility, it seems. But the only spot of interest is a small inn offering food for sale.
Mmm. Yum yum.
Enter the inn. Pardon?
What's the other one?
Enter or pass.
Enter.
You head inside. The place is just a low table and a black iron pot above the stove. A woman watches you with wide, fearful eyes.
Greet.
Greetings, you declare, bowing slightly to the woman. The gesture appears to make her more afraid, not less. How much are your provisions? 1 gold piece for the stew, she replies in a thin, hungry voice. But perhaps you want some food to take with you, seeing as how you're a traveler?
Ask for provision.
Any provisions I can carry, you reply. I have a long journey to make. She seems to size you up, then decide you to be trustworthy. I can give you bread and cheese for 2 meals, she says. 2 gold pieces. And she lifts a cloth from the surface behind her to reveal the stack of food.
Yeah, let's just pay.
I will take some bread and cheese. You hand over your money, which she tests between her teeth before slipping into a pocket of her tunic. Then she wraps some provisions in a dirty-looking cloth and hands it to you, with something that is perhaps meant to be a curtsy. Good travels, she wishes, and you bow in return. And good luck to you. You leave the inn. You head out of Cantopani and along the path of the Chamotanti Hills.
Woohoo.
Striding past the outlying huts, you send the villagers rushing indoors to hide. Then at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder, and at once 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other, so hand over your things. Come on.
Deal with these curs.
You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. I would like to give you a moment to reconsider, because I will kill you if I have to. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand.
Cast a spell.
Let's just look at our spell book, actually. Zap, lightning. Buff is force field. Dumb makes creatures clumsy. Heart is a fireball. Wall is wall. But all of these will cost 3 stamina.
Okay.
Big makes you nice and big. Walk turns to gold.
Stuff.
Yep. Six makes multiple copies of yourself.
Let's do 6.
Alright. Cast a spell. I don't see an S.
No. Not Jake.
I don't suppose the law will work on people. Fog or fa?
No, an FA. Nothing. Oh. Foul.
Not foul.
Yeah, none of these spells seem to be very useful for us.
So, do you want to just fight them normally?
Let's just fight them.
First bandit closes on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature in its place. What you thinking?
Put out a value of 2.5.
It's like you knew. You should have made things easier for yourself, the bandit goads and launches forward with his sword. You try to cut him in the side, wounding him lightly. The smile on his face turns into a grimace. He is badly bruised. He raises his sword, ready to protect himself.
Do we go for a strong attack, or do we just also defend?
I mean, if he's defending, we go for a weak attack.
Oh, good point. Yeah, weak attack. Do it. Hello.
You cut the imbecile no slack. Hurrying forward quickly, you aim to let his
Is
blood...
player recording?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind.
He raises his sword at the last moment to deflect the blow. The bandit stops and coughs blood into the earth. I mean, if we do a strong attack, we basically guarantee that we get this.
Yep.
Good luck.
Do it.
Nice 6.
Do it.
You show no mercy. You go for his throat with all your strength. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. The second bandit takes one look at his dead colleague and turns and makes a run for it.
Let him go.
You let him go. You'll tell others not to try to interfere with the Analanders in the future. Turning back to the path, you begin walking once more.
Analanders?
Analanders.
Oh, okay.
After about half an hour,
PG.
the way becomes an uphill incline. Climb into the hill. Leaving Cantopani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Kai, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The Botlands and the long shadow cast by Mampang Fortress darken everything.
Yeah, let's reflect. With the crown gone.
And with the ground stolen, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Shalana the Reformer founded the Alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead, but no more. Rattlestone, Lenderland, Galanteria, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power.
Chandra the Reformer. Justice must be done.
Justice must be done for Analand and the Five Kingdoms, so here you are, a lone adventurer, walking the long path to Mampang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. The sergeant, for his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope toward the thick forest of the hills.
Let's look right.
It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually, and you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge.
Look left.
You pause to consider the lower route. There is a river there, and the path follows the left bank. It is a safer route, secluded and protected, but the curve of the landscape would mean you are almost backtracking. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand.
Look around.
All right, I'll let you two to it.
Okay.
Have fun. Later.
You look around and finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, calloused feet are dangling down over your head. About to drop on you, perhaps?
Climb up.
You swing yourself up onto the lowest branch of the tree, and the owner of the feet shrieks in alarm. You see it is an old man dressed in rags and as thin as bone. Oi! He calls, trying to retreat along the branch. What do you want? A few branches above him, you notice a buzzing beehive.
What are you hiding from?
How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He must have been escaping someone fearsome to climb so high. What are you hiding from? You cry. Darn elephants, he replies. I was traveling from Dumpus to the outpost settlement in Analand, but I were waylaid by elephants, robbed me blind, all but took me eyes, and left me up the tree. Keep getting older, you see, we all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down.
Help him out.
You reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks, Rot, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits.
What will you do now?
Keep going for Underland, he says. That's where I set off from a while back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I knew me eyes from me eyes, you'd head out to Mampig, and you'd better be smarter than I was. And here, he presses a page into your hand. It is a page torn from a spell book. This might be of some use to you. I found this. Just found it, mind. And don't go asking how. It's no good to me anymore.
Take it.
You take the page and thank him.
Let's leave and move on.
You must move on. The light is fading already. As the old man dashes off downhill towards Cantabani at a terrific pace, you consider your options. So here we can see the map. So we have to reach, eventually, the top.
It looks like left might be an easier path.
Yeah, left is going to be an easier path, but it's supposed to be longer.
But the right path looks even longer.
Yes, that is a fair question to ask.
Let's go left.
Alright. The low path, yes?
Yes.
You head into the valley. It seems the safest route, secluded without providing an opportunity for ambush, and no matter how quickly darkness falls, the riverbank will guide your way. The path winds alongside a bubbling stream. You follow it, keeping to the west bank. The valley itself becomes narrow on either hand. A good spot for an ambush. You can only hope that nobody knows you're here. After an hour's walk, you begin to feel hungry. You'll need to eat at least once today to keep up your strength.
Well, let's eat.
Taking a seat on the grassy bank above the water, you eat a quantity of your cheese and bread. You rest for half an hour or so, and then continue your journey.
Okay.
The valley continues, and you walk for many hours until the sun begins to set behind the bank and the air grows cool. Now would be the time to find a pitched camp if you intended to sleep before darkness descends completely. But the moon will rise soon enough, and you could walk on through the night. Somewhere beyond this valley, there are villages with real beds.
Let's make camp.
After little thought, you decide to stop. In the moonlight, the river will turn black and the way will be hard to find. Better to sleep and set off early tomorrow. You find a group of rocks that form a natural hollow beside the bank of the stream and settle yourself inside as comfortable a bat in a hole. Eventually you drift off to sleep, soothed by the babbling of the stream, but a short while later you're awakened by a splashing noise.
Stay still.
Reasoning that you're well hidden by the rocks, you keep your breathing quiet and listen. Creatures, 2 or 3 of them, are splashing in the stream, perhaps washing, perhaps throwing stones or catching fish.
Let's stay low.
You stay silent, listening closely. After a while, they seem to tire of the game. The valley falls quiet and still once more.
Let's sleep.
You sigh and attempt to go back to sleep. A moment later, something heavy and hard hits you right in the face. Then everything goes black.
Oh dear.
Still halfway between sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the gorilla, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death. The spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask the spirits for the spirits' aid using the pray button.
Do you want to ask for aid?
Do you?
This feels like a tutorial.
Should we?
Yeah.
Pray to spirit
Yeah,
will pray.
pray for
After
good.
a prayer, your spirit will not hear again for some time.
Oh. Well, let's pray.
Your spirit has heard you receive no further help for some time. You are on your own.
Okay. Where am I?
You are tied up on the floor of a hut, and you are not alone. Nearby, you hear the scuffle of many feet.
Look around.
You flip open your eyes, taking care to lie still. You see your belongings lying a short distance away in the dirt. Around you patter tiny feet, and a few more feet hover a few inches in the air above the ground. Elvins, then.
Wait.
The guard, noticing you are awake, leans out of the doorway and calls sharply. Soon a small crowd has gathered around you. One of the group, some kind of leader, steps forward. "Traveler," he declares, "we are creatures of pleasure and enjoyment. It is such a great pleasure to have a visitor in our poor hamlet. So I ask now, how will you entertain us here?"
Let's do magic.
The chief claps his hands with glee, and so do the others in the crowd. "Excellent!"
Let's perform a spell.
The elven chief nods. So what spells do we have available? We have Kid.
What does that do?
Duh. It creates illusions, but it requires a bracelet of bone.
Okay, we can't do that.
We have Dud, which makes an illusion of treasure. And Gob, which summons a goblin but requires a goblin's tooth.
And S?
6.
Yeah.
You want to do 6?
Yeah.
You attempt to weave the spell, but although you summon the energies with your hands bound, you cannot draw the spell together. The effects leave you racked and aching. The crowd watch with curious contempt. "You are indeed entertaining," declares the chief Elven with a clap of his hands. He turns a wheel in the air. How delightful! With a gesture to his fellows, 3 more approach. You ready yourself for blows, but instead they open your pack. The elven root through your things with brutal efficiency, taking what they fancy and tossing the rest back at you. Then they pick you up and carry you out of the village, leaving you in a pile on the side of the path like a sack of waste.
Call after them.
You call out after them, asking that they at least free you so you can walk. Almost as an afterthought, one returns with a barred knife. For a moment he holds it near your throat, then slices the bonds around your arms. And then he turns and runs off into the trees.
Get up.
You stand slowly, battered and bruised. You rub the blood back into your wrists, then finally you look through your pack. The spellbook page given to you by the old man has vanished, and your provisions have been taken. Still, there are small mercies. You still have your neck. Shouldering your pack, you start to walk once more.
We never did look at that page.
No, we did not.
Oof. Okay, let's check our items. Do we have anything in our items?
Spellbook, weapons, treasure.
Okay.
We have 6 gold pieces. We have a sword.
And we have our spellbook.
Yeah.
Cool.
You hurry away from the scene of your humiliation and reach the river once more, but now the path goes across it. Beyond, you can see a long, wide track with trees lining the left-hand edge and a wide field of long grass on the right. In the far distance, a curl of smoke indicates a village. The evening is beginning to draw in. It would be good to reach town before the light is gone.
Alright, cross.
You stride confidently across the bridge, and at its apex in time to see a man hurrying up the path on the other side towards you. Halt! He cries out, breathlessly.
Alright, let's wait.
You wait for him to reach you, which he does, panting. He's in terrible shape. Halt, he declares again. This is my bridge, and to cross you must pay the toll.
For what?
For what? You look over the aged sky ropes, the warped boards. What is there to pay for? Do you think these bridges build themselves? Do you think it's easy living out here, an outcast from Cristatanti, trying to feed my children? When barely anyone takes these paths anyway. Now that you look, the man looks quite unwell. The toll is just 1 gold piece, he says. It's very reasonable.
Well, let's pay it.
It's a reasonable toll, you remark, and put 1 gold piece into his hand. The man touches his forehead with the coin and thanks, and with that he strides away whistling. Get off down the bridge and look back onto the path, none the wiser. You have a long way still to travel today.
Oh.
The path continues along the side of a line of trees. Suddenly an acorn lands on your head, and you hear tittering from overhead. The gorilla grant you strength, more elven, in the trees, hurling acorns.
Ignore them. Just walk on by.
You're pelted by more and more acorns, as well as some sticks and branches. You break into a run. Soon you are out of reach of the annoying creatures. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think about where you'll stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided. But then you see a small village set into the hill.
Look at it.
Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is, unusually, more than just the one street running through the center of town. But it is as though this place, once rich, has had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. You continue your slow trudge along the path. Enter or avoid.
Enter.
You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. You nod back respectfully.
Let's look at the people.
Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town here on the knife edge of the backlands.
Ah. I can't read. The text is too small. I can't read what the things say.
Rest at an inn or talk in an alehouse.
Oh, let's go to an inn.
You stop a passerby and ask for an inn, and they lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands.
No, I'm a mere traveler.
The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Chrysanthanthe. Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it costs me 3 gold pieces to host a traveler overnight, and 2 to feed them. But it's all between friends.
I'll go elsewhere.
She shrugs, not appearing too upset by your decision. You creep off to the edge of the village. Outside.
Yes. I guess we only have one choice.
The cover of the forest is dark, and the ground is thick with fallen branches, mud, and briar. You walk for nearly an hour more, and then you pass a large tree atop a great fist of curling roots. It is a perfect spot to sleep. You have nothing left to eat. You settle down to sleep, but it will not be an uninterrupted night, out here under the stars, surrounded by beasts. But you will still feel a little better for it. Halfway through the night, you wake suddenly. A roach pig has sunk its teeth into your leg and is quietly sucking your blood.
Draw your sword.
It only has about 4 attack power. We could overpower it a few times.
Yeah, let's overpower it.
Alright. Like 4.1?
4.3.
4.3. Okay. The pig grinds its teeth as though hoping to scare you into lying still while it feasts. But that would be foolish. You stab for its throat, the pig charges forward, tusks leveled for your heart. It runs directly into your sword. The roach pig staggers as you wound it. Then its shell distends. It's about to do something, but what?
I think we should defend.
You want to defend?
Yeah.
It also defended. You drop your guard down low. The roach pig hunkers down too. Its shell is drawn up.
Overpower it.
Just like a whole bunch?
Well, no, like just enough. So.
Like
Yeah,
4.1?
Sure.
It defended again.
Damn.
Ready your sword, you attack, cutting the roach pig down, but most of the blow bounces off its chitinous shell. It grunts, but is built to survive the impact of collapsing trees. It feels nothing from your blow. Its hard shell covering flexes unnervingly.
I guess just do another small attack?
Another small attack, like a 0.1?
Yep.
You batter the roach pig back, slicing across the creature's face, but the force is deflected by its hard back. The pig yelps and squeals. Its head is leveled by its shell.
Oh, wait a minute. Scroll back up.
What's up?
I want to see how I want to see the log. It's defending again, so small attack.
It's defending against small attack? Okay.
Yep.
You press the roach pig again, jabbing for its legs, but some of the impact is lost on its heavy casing. It snorts and mutters.
Now we overpower it.
Alright. Overpower.
Yep.
Nice. You make another excellent stroke, slicing into the pig's hide. The creature squeals so loud you think your ears will burst, and then it falls back, hitting the earth with its hard shell and raising dust. It is, quite suddenly, quite dead. The trees fall silent once more. Flawless fighting. You carry the carcass a short way away from your camp, so that you will not be overrun by rats and ants. Then, wiping your blade on the grass, you settle back down and try to go back to sleep. Your dreams are vivid. You feel yourself tied up, surrounded by snickering faces. Thin creatures with long fingers are picking at your pockets and the stitching of your clothing. You feel magic boiling inside you, but it cannot be released. Meanwhile, the food in your bag is rotting, wet from the sweat of your back, and in the distance a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and with the other he beckons you forward as if into a trap. Alright, I guess let's go beyond the town.
Yep.
Also, we now have the whale.
Cool.
You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave this place where you have lingered so long. This is now the third day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Kristatanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, so the left heads directly into deep woodland.
Let's take the right.
Go between the buildings?
Yes.
Cool. You glimpse a few people at work by the buildings. They will be precious little company on your journey, so you should take it while you can. Approaching a low wall, you see a blind beggar sheltering in the shade with his hand held outstretched. He hears you approach and clicks his fingers. Alms, would you? For the love of Sindla. Alms.
Throw him a coin.
You place a coin in his outstretched hand. You are kind, traveler, the beggar says. He feels over the surface of the coin, then bites down on it. Why me? This is a gold piece. You are too generous to a poor, sightless beggar. You get me killed if anyone knows that I have it. The beggar beams up at you.
Look after yourself.
You say, preparing to walk away. Wait, he calls. 1 moment, please. He begins to scrabble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually he cries, "Aha!" and pulls out a copper key, which he holds out to you.
Alright, let's take it.
You take the key and pocket it. Thank you. Years ago I lived in Caer, he explains. Caer was my home, and in the city port I watched over prisoners in the gaol. Beware the red eyes in Caer, or my fate will befall you, and you'll be here with me, begging for your living.
What are the red eyes?
Pray you never find out, is his simple reply. Listen to me. Caer is wary of strangers, but this key will help you if you be captured by red eyes. Trust old me. As the man talks, you step quickly out of the road as an ox cart whips past you, raising dust. It does not stop.
Thank him and move on. So I think we just got a get out of jail free card.
It seems like it. You follow the path away from the village for half the morning. The walk is easy. It feels as natural as breathing to have the road move beneath your feet. Hard to believe you trained for this journey so long now that you are on it. You climb a little, tracing the side of a group of trees, until you meet a fork in the road. You could continue straight on and upwards, or turn west a while.
Let's take a look at the map. My main concern is that we're out of food.
Yes.
Let's continue north. No, let's go west.
Go west?
Go west.
For a short while the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path.
Move cautiously.
You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between the trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing you approach. Then you come to a fork in the road, still deep in the forest.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide or perhaps as a warning. The way to the right is marked for Thumpus. A left turn points to Aliana. Neither way seems the better trod. You will have to choose.
Well, let's go to Aliana.
The path winds between trees that get greener and more lush. You must be closer to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. After about half an hour's walk through a dappled shade, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls, and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here.
Let's knock.
You approach the door and knock. There is no reply.
Scout around.
You're on the west side of a house. There is a mailbox. You go to the north. You perform a swift circuit around the hut, but find nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut, set by itself deep in the forest. But for someone to survive out here on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, they must be someone quite powerful.
Open the door.
You push open the door and stride inside. The hut is neatly laid out. You detect the touch of a fastidious woman. Chairs are set around a table as if for guests. A mattress lies in one corner, and a large kitchen area indicates that whoever lives here, they are fond of cooking.
Call out.
To your surprise, a voice answers quickly. Who's there? Who's that?
Well, let's locate the speaker.
Looking into a corner hidden by a large cupboard, you see a cage in which a young woman is imprisoned. Good stranger, she pleads, let me out of this cage, I beg you.
Get her out.
Going over to the cage, you try the door. It is locked, of course.
Well, let's use magic.
Stand back, you declare as you roll up your sleeves.
I believe it's D-O-R. No.
Stop.
Oh, Dop. Yes. Yes.
You cast a spell over the lock and it begins to shiver. Like a small beetle, it hums and clicks as the tumblers turn and work. Then finally, it snaps open and drops to the floor. The woman claps her hands in delight, and with the door open, she rushes out and throws her arms around you before backing off a pace and trying to regain her composure. Stranger, she declares, I'm in your debt. Eliana will reward you. Will you take an aid in combat or mastery of magic?
Magic.
Very well. She rushes quickly over to a wall and opens a panel you have not seen before and takes out a small box, which she places in your hands with a smile. No tricks, she says with a smile. All these things will aid you if you know how they are meant to be used.
Open it.
You flip open the box. It contains a small vial of glue, a pair of strange-looking nose plugs, and 4 small pebbles. You pocket them and give back the empty box. The lady has been freed. It seems like there's nothing much more to keep you here and from your quest.
We should ask for food as well.
Perhaps before I go, you begin, I may eat with you if you can feed me. I have not had anything yet today. I have nothing, she replies with a sad shrug. The elephant who locked me up took everything.
And I will be gone.
You nod curtly. She nods. Of course, please, before you go. And she holds something out. There's a small bag of gold coins.
Alright, let's take it.
You bow your head and accept the gift. There are 7 gold pieces inside. And one more thing, she says, you must understand, Aliana does not give gifts to those who are not worthy, and any worthy woman is capable of dying. Suddenly, before your eyes, two transformations are taking place. The first is in one of the chairs, which begins to crack and creak, standing and stretching until it's formed into a violent wood golem, advancing with fibrous claws outstretched. The second is in Aliana's face, gone is her peaceful calm, and in its place is the cackling madness of a witch.
Oh dear. Let's fight the golem.
You don't want to just cast a spell?
Okay, let's cast a spell. If we can cast hot.
Looks like we can. Three stamina for a fireball?
Let's do it.
You hold up your hand and cast the spell. A small burning fireball materializes in your palm and you fling it across the room at the wood golem. The creature catches the light immediately and shrieks in pain. Aliana rushes off to find water to douse the fire before her house goes up, while you make a hasty exit. You retrace your steps to the last junction, where you turn to take the path to Dumpus.
Alright.
The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and then emerges onto a sudden plain, as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Enter or avoid?
Enter.
Today has been a short day with few true dangers. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. So you begin the gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set close together as if trying to withstand a storm. There's a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place.
Oh.
Explore the town, talk to villagers, or find an inn.
Let's talk to villagers first.
You pass along the main path through the village and pause outside a hut in which several of the hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking their fists in the air. Lifting back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking immediately and look up at you. One gets to his feet and gestures you forward.
Let's step over.
You step forward, then one of the others calls something in the native tongue and points at your side to where your sword hangs out, below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons," and he indicates a table by the door where you can leave the blade.
Remove the sword.
You unfasten your sword belt and leave your weapon on the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation and then beckon you to sit with them. Then they continue their conversation, just as animatedly as before, speaking in a local tongue that you cannot follow. But as they talk, they pour you a drink and provide you with food. They seem quite welcoming.
Listen to their talk.
As you eat, you listen, catching a few words here and there. Goblins, arms, Persisanti. They seem to be very concerned.
Ask about the goblins.
What are the goblins doing? Are they being armed by villagers? The men shake their head. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure that a horde of goblins are planning an attack on Custatanti, which is apparently one of the wealthiest spots in the hills. They're discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean they are offered some kind of reward.
Ooh. Morality answer. What do you think we should do?
I mean, if these people really think that the town can't protect itself, then they should, help out the other people.
Alright, then let's help. You must
But
help.
this isn't what we're doing, it's what we
I
are
know.
telling them
I'm
to
saying
do.
that that's what we should say.
You must help them?
Yes.
Okay. Visitanti, it does not help us, one of the men points out. They are rich, we are poor.
you can be better than them.
The men nod, swayed by your ruthless logic. And you? How do you fight? One man asks you.
I will help those that need it.
The men nod. Let the goblins attack tonight, they cheer. We will use your strength. The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave, one by one. Find an inn, explore the town, or
we
leave.
still have our sword. It didn't specifically say we picked up our sword. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be sure.
That's fair. Inn, explore the town, or leave the town.
Let's explore.
Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with the 11 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions.
Provisions.
You examine the bag of food. There's about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good for a traveler, I am sure.
Pay for them.
You pay him 6 gold pieces and add the provisions to your pack.
I guess let's examine the cap.
You pick up the skull clamp and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadalay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work, 4 gold pieces. You can tell from the feel of the cloth that it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells.
Let's try it on.
Place on your head, but you feel nothing. You take it off again.
Let's put it back. Oh, okay.
Papa cries a parable.
Hello?
Hello. I'm looking at spells. Tell requires a skull clamp. Skull cap. The caster must wear a cloth skull cap. The user may then read the mind of any intelligent creature nearby.
The issue is, I don't think we'd be able to afford the inn if we buy the cap. So it's up to you.
So you want to put it back? You think the inn is going to cost more than 1 gold piece?
Yeah.
You shake your head and place the skull cap back on the merchant's table. Merchant smiles. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Is there any... Oh, is there somewhere I can go to sleep?
Points you down a side road that leads to an inn. You thank him.
Alright, let's go to the inn.
Following the merchant's instructions, you quickly find an inn at the very center of Dumpus. There's a tumble-down building with mats spread across the floor and a kitchen range that fills the air with an appealing, spicy smell. The man who runs the inn is wiry and looks as if he does not eat a thing himself. 3 gold pieces for hill fox broth, he tells you, and 3 for a place to rest your head. You've already eaten today, so you are not so hungry.
Let's rest.
You pay 3 gold pieces and the man shows you to a mattress in one corner of the room. For a while you stay awake, wondering if the goblin attack the villagers feared will come. But it seems the land is quiet tonight. Eventually, you drift off to sleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. Your thoughts are dominated by the strange woman in the hut. In your mind, she has become younger than she truly was. Flowers seem to blossom from her hair, as though she was grown from the earth itself. Overhead, you hear the flap of giant wings. The birdmen came for the crown. Perhaps, before this journey is finished, they will come for you.
Creepy.
Nothing to do but leave.
Yep.
You rise early, thank the innkeeper, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you're out of Dumpus and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill along one side of a barren, stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on top of the hill? It seems a lonely place for it.
Hmm.
Go uphill, go downhill.
Let's go uphill.
The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb and you are forced to rest several times. So far, you've been walking through the foothills. Now the journey will become more serious. When finally you reach the summit and can look out over the low plateau you have crested, you see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. There are villagers out in the street talking and working. It seems a happy, bustling place.
Approach.
There seems no obvious danger. You approach along the path until you're close enough for the villagers to notice you. The effect is immediate. They begin to scurry inside the huts as if you were an army and not a lone traveler. You cannot help but notice what a sorry bunch they are, squat and short and all limping strangely. The bodies are thin and malnourished, and as they disappear through their doors, you notice some are missing limbs.
Oh, they're lepers. Walk straight through.
Something about it gives you the shivers. Leave the village or enter a hut.
Leave.
The place seems normal enough, but you cannot be sure. You take a side path out of the village as soon as one appears, out onto a ridge.
Keep going.
The path turns down a steep scree slope and into some trees. It's difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course and eventually the path bursts out into a narrow stone ledge high above the valley floor. Pardon me. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards.
Look left.
Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there is a path up the other side, it is not clear from here.
Alright, look right.
Looking right, you are taken aback, as of out of the mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had only now fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes and is suspended from this peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built such a marvel and how long ago?
Look at the bridge.
You take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly in the wandering wind. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist, or is it mere illusion to trick the incautious traveler?
Let's rest a moment and eat.
Perching on the edge of the stone outcrop, you eat some of your provisions and feel a little better for it. Then it's time to move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here and you'll fall a long way down. Into the valley or into the bridge?
Let's zoom out a bit more. Bridge.
The bridge is worth looking at least. If it is sound, you'll be able to tell. If not, the other route will still be waiting. As the ledge winds and weaves its way around the cliff, you reach the peak where the bridge is deeply anchored by its enormous stone foot. Beside this is a small, disheveled hut.
Look at the hut.
A small little shack. It's barely large enough to house a goblin, but someone has decorated it in a weird fashion, with outlines of figures tall and short and stocky, drawn in faded shades of wood, and some in red, blood-colored clouds. And from a few of these figures, actual bones protrude from the walls themselves, as if they formed part of the structure. You should have known immediately, of course. A bridge like this out here smells of sorcery and witchcraft.
Knock.
You walk over to the hut and knock. There is no answer. Stranger still, however hard you beat your fist, your knocking seems to make no noise, as if the wood were a cup of water and you were beating your knuckles against its surface.
Take the bridge.
No matter, the hut is old and disheveled, probably empty. Letting your foot upon the bridge, you begin to make your way steadily across.
Alright.
But you've only gone a few steps when you hear a voice calling from behind you. "Oh, stranger!" You turn to see an ugly, hunchbacked creature who is sidled out of the hut door. "If you wish to pass, 2 answers you must give to Van Kass."
Who is Van Kass?
Oh, there's a 4th choice.
Oh. Who is Van Kass?
The creature blinks, perhaps in surprise, then he taps himself on the chest and tries to straighten up just a little.
I'll give you your answers.
The creature chuckles and asks his first question. "A sister I have, a witch in captivity. She lives in the woods. So first tell me, do you know of her friend, of this cunning dame? And how is she known? Tell me, what is her name?" You know of whom he speaks, the woman in the cage. But what was she called?
Began with an A. Aliana. It's a second choice.
The hunchback smiles. Your answer is correct and true, so now you must answer question 2. Through villages 3 you have now passed. What was first, what was second, and what was last?
Okay, hang on. So first, can we take a look at the map still?
Let's cheat.
Yeah. So first, Canto Pani,
Yeah.
and then we went to Cristatanti, and then technically Urastanti.
Aristanti?
Urastanti.
We didn't go to Dumpus?
You said first, second, and last.
Yeah, okay. So first,
First is Canto
Canto Pani?
Pani. Yep. Cristatanti. And Biratanti. Is it Biratanti?
No.
No. Then
Biratanti
Dimpus.
is up ahead.
Then Dimpus.
Hunchback nods once deeply and you breathe a sigh of relief. He gestures for you to proceed along the bridge, but calls out one last verse of advice. Beware the lair of the cave demon's maze.
Stay to listen.
For traps as deadly as Medusa's gaze, greet those with the most diresome plight, who turn down paths not to the right.
Let's thank him.
You call out a thank you, and Bacchus nods once more before returning to his hut. Quickly, fearing any more traps, you hurry across the rope bridge. You're rather grateful when your foot touches the grass on the other side. You follow your path over the crest of the hill and down into the next valley. It is now late afternoon. Some way down the hill you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between 3 peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that, compared to that mournful spot you have just passed through. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon.
Let's approach.
The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward. When an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping.
Freeze.
You freeze. Hovering by your shoulders, a small creature the size of a bird. It is childlike but very thin, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly.
Okay, do we have a spell to understand? Oh no, that's for commanding. Let's try talking to it.
Greetings, little
Oh.
creature. And hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan.
What are you?
The creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I'm a mini-mite. Pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe.
What can you tell me about the village?
Is it safe? That's Biratanti. Biotanti, and it's very safe. It's the largest village in the whole of the Shamutanti Hills. Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there, so it's a little bit expensive, especially for mini-mites, but pleasant enough. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can't we?
Well, let's get going then.
Whoa. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are toweringly tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Enter the town or sleep outside.
Let's enter the town.
You continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, the mini-mite on your shoulder remarks, I told you it was a happy place.
Jan, what's going on?
Jan shakes his head. No, if there was magic, believe me, I'd known. This is the festival of the young.
What's that?
Well, take a look. Jan waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It's a time of great fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and is spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads, Glandragor's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem.
I feel like, yeah, we could probably leave her. If she actually didn't want this happening, she probably would have been able to overpower the young boy.
So leave her?
Yeah, no need to interrupt their traditions.
You got -3 morality points. You consider helping the woman, but there's nothing you can do. It is their festival, after all.
Yep.
Enter the tavern, go further into town, or leave town.
Tavern.
Behind a bar, a thick-set man is wiping mugs down with an old rag. Greetings, stranger, he calls. I'm Glandragor. Can I be helping you?
Wait. Landragor, we saw that name earlier, didn't we?
The Glandragor's Tavern.
Oh, okay, well that explains it. Greetings.
I'm sure you have. Take a seat. You do so, and Jan leaps up and onto the counter. Glandragor seems amused rather than alarmed by the creature.
How much is ale?
2 gold pieces, and it's the finest in town. Well, it's the only ale in town, I make sure of that.
I guess let's get a mug.
Put 2 gold pieces down on the countertop, and Glandragor pulls you a mug of beer. It's warm, frothy, and deeply refreshing. Glandragor smiles. You look like you've been on the road a while. You have no idea, you reply. Glandragor nods.
Tell me about this village.
Glandragor shrugs. Not much to say. What you see is what you get. This place keeps going because it's the only route between Kea and Pantapani. If one of these mountains falls or the river freezes over, then this place will be a desert in 2 weeks.
I'm headed for care of myself.
Of course you are, he grins. Didn't I just tell you that?
What can you tell me about it?
Ah, Kea. I love to go in Kea once. It's a town for love, you know. You have to live every day like it's your last in Kea because the chances are high that it will be. Now there's a city of thieves if ever there was one.
I'll survive.
Good for you, he replies with a nod. I suppose the worst that's happened to me there was a broken heart in the end. Glandragor goes back to wiping down his bar, then a thought occurs to him. You'll be passing through Torapani, I suppose? The Sivens in Torapani are normally a merry lot, but they're pretty depressed at the moment. There's a real gloom about the place.
What's the matter?
Ah, well, he thinks for a moment, then waves away whatever was on the tip of his tongue. I'm sure it's nothing to concern you. From the counter, Jan issues a loud burp. He has been sipping ale from puddles on the bar top, but is now quite drunk.
Let's wake him.
You poke the little creature who clambers boozily up your finger, but then topples off and onto the floor. Leave him there if you like, Glantigor says. I'll pick him up and put him in a mug. But you don't quite manage it. At the last moment, Jan rouses himself and flies wobbly back onto your shoulder. I love you, he whispers into your ear. Satisfying. Go further into town or leave?
Further.
You head out of the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the Crystal Waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling.
Ask.
You stop by the group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jan, whom they delight in poking, tickling, and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back!" Another shouts, "The water is good for you!" Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulder.
Move on.
You leave the girls to the snickering. Find an inn, leave town, or visit the waterfall.
Ooh. Find an inn.
You find the village inn, buried under a rocky overhang. The proprietor stands in the doorway, a formidable young girl armed with a baker's paddle. "What do you want?" she squeaks at you.
A bed.
5 gold pieces, she says. "Plenty of travels in Baratanti. We only want the best."
Oof. Leave, I guess.
You shake your head. "That's too much. You run a lowly inn and not a palace." The girl scoffs back at you as you turn and walk out of town. Jen hops up and down. "Just you and me, then." "Be quiet," you grumble.
All right.
Camp outside.
I guess so.
You make your way out of the village and into a stand of tall, dry trees under the overhang of one of the cruel mountainsides. Between curling roots, you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above on a knot and is quickly asleep. You're tired enough to follow suit.
Settle down.
You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Your dreams are full of plagued victims, their faces raw with boils and streaming sores. The rest of the night passes silently. Beyond Baratanti. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. "Ready to go?" he chirps. You rejoin the path on the far side of Baratanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village of the Shamatanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right.
Let's ask Jan his advice.
"Which way, Jan?" "To the right is a forest, to the left the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani."
What else do you know?
"Nothing," protests the creature, "and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know." You get no more from the creature. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely.
Oh god, so that's gonna make a major difference then. So, black flowers or a small forest?
Black flowers, red thorns. Black flowers, red thorns.
Forest it is.
I have an idea. We take the middle path and go right there.
I don't think that's gonna work.
God, just imagine if there's just like on one of these choices a little flag just appears like down the corner of the map and you just have to go, "Wee!"
Yeah, forest.
Through the forest. We go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, Jen warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Care on the northern horizon.
Stop and eat.
Taking a brief pause, you eat a ration of your food and feel better for it. Then you continue along your path. Jan is in a talkative mood over the worst of his headache from last night's drinking, and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Kai. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop! Stop now!
Stop and say nothing.
You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You see me, whispers a voice. I know it.
Look into the darkness.
You peer into the darkness of the trees. Nothing, just shadow. And then you see, it's a shadow with two eyes.
Ask who is there.
There is no reply, but the tall figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and had you not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away, and you had not seen him, he wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands.
What spells can we cast?
Da 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 da!
Zap.
Just zap, not even checking the others?
Yep.
You cast the spell, but nothing results. I should probably tell you, Jan whispers. Mennonites are protected by an aura. It is a curse sometimes, like now, because you can't cast magic while I'm nearby, and I'm not leaving while that assassin is here. You bring your sword up to bear.
Oh dear. Five. 5.1.
5.1. The assassin nods at you, raises his curved sword in salute, and readies his stance. You rush forward quickly, hoping to catch him before he is ready. The assassin covers himself. Closing his eyes, he murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance.
Oh. Okay, I guess, another 0.1. Oof.
In the next moment, he is on you in a flash. With your blade close, you are ready to parry. His own swing is devastatingly placed. Sin love forgive you, he declares as he swings. The impact of his swing catches you in the side. As he pulls the blade clear, he lifts you from the floor and kicks you in the stomach.
Man, I don't even know anymore. Sure.
What, just everything?
Strong attack. Strong attack.
Oof. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the impact clangs against his turned sword. He grins. He's left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin tells you in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it.
Defend.
You drop yourself into a crouch as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of the way, mostly unhurt. The assassin laughs appreciatively.
4.2.
I think it's going to defend, but sure, 4.2. Yep. He alternates between heavy attacks and blocks.
Oh, okay, well in that case, 6.
4.3 is on limit right now.
Oh. Okay, defend then.
So now he should block, so a weak attack should do it.
Alright.
Oh, come on!
Alright. Sure.
What, just everything?
May as well.
Nope, blocked.
Ah. Do it. Damn.
Oh, come on.
Defend. I would say defend again.
Oh, that would have been...
Strong. Oh, wait, no. What did he do after the first quick prayer? Yeah, you know what? He's going to do a strong attack. I'd say do 6.1.
6.1?
Yep.
6.5.
Damn it.
So probably blocking or a very weak attack.
Yes. Weak attack. As strong as we can. Yeah. Oh, rude. Defend. Just straight up defend.
Yep, good choice.
Small attack. So 1.
A 1, okay.
Yeah. Everything we got.
The assassin is... So 14 stamina lost. The assassin is ready to leap back into the tree line as you come at him again. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I'm not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade. We can try again.
Just continue.
Okay. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping.
Finish him and search his body.
With a single blow, you finish the assassin. He dies with his lips pursed in silent prayer, not cursing you, but commanding his own soul to a better place. Rifle his body for measly 3 gold pieces, then continue on the path, out of the woods and onto a dusty hillside. Jan, for a brief while, says nothing. Perhaps he is shocked, but the blissful silence doesn't last for long. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Mennonite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way.
Not much farther.
The Mennonite sighs and slumps onto your shoulder. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears.
Great.
Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you.
Okay.
Walk past or approach?
Approach.
You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villages.
Let's go inside. This can't possibly go wrong.
Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring you some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one.
Make conversation.
The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands as you speak.
What's your name?
They call me Gazamoon, as she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but you have never heard of her.
Why do you live alone?
Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You can't help but notice she has not answered the question.
This is a beautiful place.
Watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck. She giggles, meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly, I'd forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it.
Switch cups.
While she is away from the table, you switch the 2 cups around. Then when she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. A sudden deep pain grips your stomach and you double over.
Uh-oh. They were both poisoned.
You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up. Oh, suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft.
Please release me.
You try to shout out, but you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan flits about in some distress, unsure what to do. She moves the vial of glue and your pebbles and stashes what she has stolen into a drawer. Then she flicks a finger, and you find yourself elsewhere.
Where?
Wherever you are, Jan is still with you, fluttering around your head. Bat him away. You can move. Getting to your feet, you find yourself on the path, in sight of Torapani.
Okay, let's check our items. Let's check. We have that copper key still. Magical items.
We still have nose plugs.
Okay. Treasure.
No, that's sword. Treasure. 3 gold pieces.
And 1 ration.
Oh, look, we can eat it whenever we want. That's useful.
Okay. Let's move on.
It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Torapani, slung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier.
Observe.
Torapani is a village of the Svin, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect the village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet.
Go into town.
Still, there is no way around it. You will have to go through.
Alright.
You enter the village. There is a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Savins are going about their business slowly and miserably and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very center of the village to consider your options.
Make contact first.
You spy a group of Savins sitting outside a low hut, and you walk yourself over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend, apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade.
I met the assassin.
You remark, boldly interrupting. Out in the forest. You met him? You're still alive, one Sven replies thickly.
I killed him.
The Sven spit a gob of green goop onto the ground. You do good, but you 1 day late for us. Another Sven bangs his hand down on the table. But with his dead, who saved Tia?
Who is Tia?
Or Flower? The Sven who answers wipes a tear from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia's chief's daughter, the other Sven says. Ish was to save her, now Ish is not alive, so Tia soon not alive.
What happened?
Goblins, they sacrifice... Sacrifice? He is unsure of the word, so mimes a gesture like a stabbing downwards knife blade. Yes, sacrifice to great cave demon. Trouble is, another says, our village die if chief line end. Tia is end. So if end ends, we end. All is very sad. Very sad, they all agree. Who are you? One asks suddenly, if only just thinking of it. He prods you in the chest.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer? A sudden gleam enters the biggest one's eyes. Great sorcerer?
I do my best.
Best is good. Make a Tifa, he signals to the others, who are quickly on their feet, big, hefty arms swinging for you. We take to Chief. Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. Jan clings onto your shoulder, refusing to be shaken free.
Pray to my spirit for aid.
In a whisper, you begin a prayer to your spirit, the gorilla, for aid. Nothing happens immediately. Then you reach a low hut and are thrown to the earth. Your arms and legs are released. Perhaps your spirit has heard you, you cannot be sure, but now that you have summoned the powers above, they will not help you again.
Huh.
The door is slammed and locked. A moment later, it reopens and your possessions are thrown inside.
Should we try to sleep, do you think?
Do you want to?
Let's sleep.
A few more minutes pass with no more movement. Figuring they will probably now wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and long, dark nails scratching at your flesh, and however much you toss and turn on the floor, you can't quite get them out of your mind. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens and 5 Sphinx come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut where an old man with gray hair sits. He's wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name, Perseus. Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves.
Apology accepted.
The chief nods. He waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk.
Well, let's eat.
Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. Jan cowers under your own cloak, hoping to go unnoticed. I have need of you and your strength.
Tell me.
The chief nods. I shall, my daughter, my child. She is taken, offered to a terrible demon below.
Goblins.
The chief spits at the wood. Goblins! He shakes his head as tears well up in his eyes. We never friends, but we never enemies like this. I not understand their hate, why they care about demons in caves.
I will save her.
The chief wipes away a tear with a clawed finger. He gestures to the other Sphinx who, still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet.
Right. Luckily, we know what we need to do in this cave.
You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Sphinx has brought a rope and another a basket. They're preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself.
Take the adventure.
You wait until they're ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares as they start to lower you down. In your shoulder, he murmurs. We're in trouble now, he shivers. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Sphinx shouts something down to you.
Feel around on the ground.
You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It is a dry wood torch. Something else follows from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox! Calls the voice.
Fall around for it.
Rubbing the booze on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox.
Light the torch.
You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame.
Right.
You can see now you're in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. Through an uneven rock vault at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur.
Go right.
You turn right, creeping slowly forward. The passageway slopes down a short way, then ends in a T-junction. Two stones are stacked up on top of one another against the wall here.
Examine the stone.
There's nothing special about the two stones, except they happen to be on top of one another.
Go right.
You take the right-hand tunnel. The tunnel twists and bends sharply as if carved by a river and now long since dried away. You lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward where the tunnel splits. There's a stacked pair of stones here as well.
Go right.
You move through the opening in the right wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realize the tunnel is climbing at quite a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the passage you are following finishes at another fork. As you enter, two stones roll away down the slope.
Go right.
The cave walls crush in close, as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls, and you feel certain you can go no further. The path you're creeping through forks again. Another pair of stones are stacked in one corner.
Go right.
You follow the passageway and you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls across a frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is a young Savin girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers.
Come with me.
You hold out a hand and the girl takes it and gets to her feet. We'll have to be quiet, she hisses, or else. Suddenly there's a loud roaring from the mouth of this short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Savin stone towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Savin girl. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom, back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape. A manticore, huge, terrible. It stands between you and the light and howls in bloody rage.
Alright, well, what spells do we know?
We can't cast spells, we have Jinn with us.
Ah, crap. Look at the creature.
The manticore is a foul hybrid created by the evil sorcerers of old and steeped in bitter self-hatred. It has a lion's body and the tail of a scorpion, but its face is that of an old man, and its thoughts are cruel and resentful. As it sees you, it rears back, flapping two enormous wings on its back.
I feel like we should still try. Maybe Jan will back away enough.
You begin to ready a spell when Jan tugs at your arm. You can't,
Okay.
he whistles. I told you, you can't do magic when I'm around. Cursing him, you try to think of other options and fast. You have no other choices. You draw your sword and close on the beast, eyes focused tightly on the terrible stain.
Oh dear. How do you want to play this?
How do you want to play this?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I'm thinking defend first, because I feel like it's going to start with a strong attack.
Okay, let's defend.
The fearsome creature paces forward, teeth barred. You drop back, raising your guard, hoping the beast will wear itself out. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well then let's go with 4.
Oof.
Seriously? Yeah. And I think we have to defend.
So the Sphin Girl edges near it as if thinking of scratching the creature with her claws. It's scared, she whispers to you. You might not believe me, but you've scared it.
Oh, in that case, small attack.
Like a 0.1?
Yeah,
You think it's gonna block?
yeah. Oh, damn it.
The monster pounds across the stone floor, knocking you over. The Sphin Girl screams. Only then do you see the giant sting plunging downwards toward your forehead. In your weakened state, you are too slow to roll out of the way. The sting lands with the force of a hammer blow, piercing your skull. Last thing you feel is the pumping of burning poison as it enters your brain.
Try again. Alright. So start off with a defend. It did a stronger attack. I think go with 7.
Are you No, wasn't this the one you said 4 and then it did like 4.6?
Okay, good point. Do 5.1.
I mean, if it's doing 4... Okay, 5.1. 4.8 this time. Cool.
And small attack.
Small attack, like a 1?
1.1. Okay.
Okay, so now it's going to be able to do a big attack.
So defend.
So I think that the Manticore attacks by trying to use as much attack power as possible all the time.
Okay.
So it should have less than our amount of attack power right now.
Let's do it.
Oof.
And now we kind of have to defend. Yep. Oh dear.
The foul beast is weakening. You got it past half.
Do a 3.
Nope.
Yeah. Try again.
Alright.
God, realizing that the try again literally just means redo the fight. Ugh. Makes me wish we
Yeah.
handled the assassin. Yeah, that we had retried the assassin. I
Oh,
thought
you
it
want
just
to
meant
retry the assassin? Hold on. Where's the assassin?
that we can do this. Okay, cool.
Somewhere around here-ish, I think,
I
right?
believe so. Yes.
No, not here, because our stamina is 1.
Okay, then yeah, outside the trees. Yeah, right here.
Okay, yep.
Choose a path. We pick the forest.
Yep, you can just go back, like, whenever.
All right. Did we stop and eat?
I
Yeah,
think we
stopped.
already ate.
Okay, keep going.
I think? I don't know.
Stop. We did stop and eat this time, so. Draw sword, I guess.
Casting a
Fight.
spell doesn't help. So you just have to fight. So it's big attack and block until it realizes that we know that that's what it's doing.
So we defend first.
Oh, come off it.
Okay.
Yeah. going to do a big attack eventually. Not that one, though. There we go.
Now we defend.
Okay, good.
Now we do a strong attack.
I feel like it's going to defend.
Then
But
do a
it might-
1.1.
Oh, come
Damn
off
it.
it.
Yeah, you have the better instinct. Alright, strong as we can. Yep. Damn it. Defend.
Alright,
Now as strong as we can.
strong as possible. Are you kidding?
Alright, yeah, no, let's restart this fight.
Well, there's no
beat 'em.
restart until the fight is over.
Yeah, we'll beat him and then do it. Wow.
If we keep attacking as strong as possible, eventually we kill it, and then we try again.
2.
Oof.
Strong as we can. Aww!
So now he's going to go strong. He like waits for us to do a strong attack or something, and then he goes.
6.
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rude.
And then he goes strong. Now he's going to either block or do a weak attack, so let's just do a 1. A moderate
I was going to
attack.
say 2, but even that wouldn't have been enough. Now let's do a 5.
Are you kidding me? Okay. Loss of 6. No.
Can do better.
Okay. How did the fight start again?
We'll start with 2.
Was 2 a good idea or a bad idea?
I remember it being good.
Okay, yeah, 2 worked.
And now let's do a 6.1. No. Now we defend.
Now we defend?
Defend.
Okay.
No loss. Okay. 6.9.
Uh-huh. He defends
Damn
again.
it. Of course.
So now he's going to go strong because we went strong.
Yep.
Basically just mimics what we do, except if we
Yeah.
block, sometimes he goes for a moderate
Yep.
attack.
Okay.
A 6 or a 2.5?
3. Okay.
I think...
How strong can we go? Do it.
We lost
That's
1.
acceptable. That's acceptable.
Okay. Kill him?
Finish him.
Alright. Leave the trees.
Check our inventory. Weapons. Why did we take his sword?
I don't know.
Weird. Anyways, continue.
Not much further.
Further. Greet the woman. We're gonna do something slightly different though. Go see her.
Hello, lady, and then you just walk away.
Go inside. Conversation.
So here's the question. The tea she gave us, is this tea poisoned or is her own teacup poisoned? And she's waiting for us to switch.
You know what? Let's drink the tea. Still drink the tea.
The old lady lifts her own mug and takes a deep gulp. Your own tea is gently refreshing. Then she sputters and coughs and grips her side.
Help her.
Is something wrong? Oh, no, no, she replies, trying to smile, but clearly doubled up in pain. Stumbling and almost falling, she staggers to her kitchen and gulps down another drink. When she returns, she seems much better again. Not as young as I was, she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. But tell me about you. You're a traveler? Yeah, she poisons her own cup because everyone's gonna swap.
Yep. Yes.
Yes, that's right. I'm going to Care. She clasps her hands. How wonderful. Such a delightful city. Indeed, you answer. Tell me, on your journey you didn't happen to come across an old man, did you?
Yes.
Not just any old man, she insists. This one was carrying a page from a spell book.
I had the page for a while.
Had? I lost it. She slumps a little. Really? That's a pity. She seems to think for a moment, then adds, but do you have anything of a magical nature?
Say no and leave.
No, too risky to carry, you understand. I suppose so, she replies, through gritted teeth. You get to your feet.
Thank her for the tea.
She waves you away without interest. Go on, go away. You step back onto the path. Jan lets out a long sigh of relief. You know she was one of the most powerful sorceresses in the hills, he whispers. I could smell it on her. You're lucky you got away alive. You shrug. A harmless old lady, or so she seemed. What I find really interesting about this is someone who doesn't have suspicion against her just drinks the tea, has conversation, leaves. That's it. And then we go over to this here village. Strangely quiet.
Make contact.
Right.
I met the assassin. Killed him. Who is?
Who is?
What happened? Sorcerer. Do my best. This time, just wait to see what happens.
You are set down carefully. And captured.
Let's sleep. Actually, we haven't eaten anything this
We haven't
day.
eaten yet, so eat.
So eat. Yep. And
And
sleep.
then sleep.
Apology accepted. Eat it. Yum yum. Tell me. Goblins. I will save her. Take the adventure. Feel the ground. Feel the tinderbox.
Light the torch. And then right.
Yeah, just keep going right.
Go right. Go right. Go right.
Go right.
Go right. Go right.
Come with me. Fight.
Okay, so
Defend.
right. Yeah, we defend because it throws everything at us. Then we throw how much at it?
6.7 is good.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, another 5.6. Excellent. Defend.
Oh,
Damn. I would say defend again because it's now recovered its.
fair point.
Now we do a strong one, like maybe 6 point something.
6.
Sure. What is the strongest we can do?
5.4.
Do it. Okay. Now let's defend.
Good, good.
Honestly, I would say small attack 1.1.
Nope.
Damn. Yeah,
5.2.
sure.
Ooh, way too much.
Yep.
Oof. That was bad.
Right. Defend. Damn it. Okay, defend for real this time. $5.5.
$4.1.
Okay.
Bad.
Okay. Strong as we can. Let's try again.
Okay, so like we have to defend immediately.
Yes.
We should keep track of what attacks and like numbers it does. So it might just do the same every time.
Good point. What did it do this time? I think it does do a 6.5.
Hold on, I'm gonna 6.5, you say?
Yes.
Now it's gonna do something really weak.
Yep. And now it's going to do a stronger one. So let's defend.
Nope.
Oh, damn. Okay, this time just go max. Good, good. Now it's going to do something on the weaker side, so now's the time for a 3.
Nope.
Really?
I'm not sure if our 2.3 is going to be enough.
Just due to the 2.3.
Oh, it is. Cool.
And now we defend. Yeah. No, we can't beat it, so defend. $3.1.
So it's a little dyslexia there.
And how much can we do at max? Do max.
Ooh.
Again, do max. Yeah. Acceptable.
Oh, you want to take that? I was writing down the numbers it was doing.
Okay, let's try it again.
So it starts with 11.7, so we defend.
Yeah.
And then it does a 4.5.
So let's do a 4.6.
Nope. Okay. Numbers don't care.
Not consistent. Good to know. Great.
Oh.
Three.
Okay. Good, good.
Defend. Damn. Max. Max. Oh,
No.
damn. Max. Defend. Defend. Sure.
Oh, come on!
Max. Three. Defend. Max. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Nah.
Hey. Wish we could just keep the 6, but fine. So let's see. It does a moderate attack here.
Yeah.
We've seen a 4.5 and we've seen a 6. I think.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Ooh, nice. So now it does a few weak attacks.
So. Yeah, 2.5 should be fine. And now we
Nice,
defend.
nice. Yeah. Decently. Yeah, decent attack.
I would say 5.5.
5.5?
5.5.
Okay, it just went right up to a weak attack.
Go for
I
it.
was thinking defend,
Yeah,
because I
you're right.
think
Defend.
it'll do... We could have taken that.
We could have done it, but this time do a 3.
Oh no.
Ah, rude.
When it keeps doing like 3s and 4s and stuff, like I feel like it's still going, like, building up.
Yeah, do a full.
But it's so hard to actually know. I feel like it's going to do another week.
Oh, okay.
No, of course not.
That is why I said defend. Now you have to defend. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can go back to the previous one, right?
I go back to, like, the previous choice.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Fight the creature. So again, we defend immediately.
And it does middling, so 6.1 is 1 point higher than the highest it's ever gone. Right? And another high middling one I think is appropriate here.
5.9?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, a little much, but
Usually does 2 low ones here to help
maybe.
build up.
Let's try it. Perfect. Defend. How high can we go?
4.5? Yeah, I don't exactly feel confident about this.
I would say defend.
We could have had it. But now it's bound to do a few weak ones, so we could probably do a few 3s.
Yep.
Oh, doesn't have to do 2s, does it? I think another weak one, or is it already built up enough?
Let's try a weak one.
Oof, no.
Alright. Do the same number it just did, 4.9. Yeah. Highest we can go. Damn. Okay. Nope. Alright, restart this fight.
Alright. Alright, alright. So it should drop to decently low now.
Okay.
And it might do another weak one.
4.5. And defend.
Yeah. 2 middle ones.
Can we probably can, yeah. Do it again.
Do it.
Do the attack.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just when they keep changing the name of the attack action.
Like we had just defended and he said do it again.
You,
So now it should be low.
okay. Do you think it's going to do another attack now, or do you think it's going to do another low?
I think it's going to be decent. Like, middle. Because I
Alright.
think we should defend.
Yep.
Yep. Now it should be low.
Okay.
I sure hope so. Oof.
Nope.
But now it's got to be low.
Was. Max.
Ah, good one. And max again.
Okay.
Alright, we lost 5
Not bad.
stamina. I think that's good.
That's our best so far, so let's keep that.
The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Savin girl. Then the Minamite breaks out into a loud cheer, whooping and punching the air. You bow to him. Thank you, the Savin girl murmurs, then tugging at your arm. This way. Pardon me. She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks, to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention.
Tell the girl to call up.
Girl, call to your father. The Sphin child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs. Perseus, I'm here! Then something drops down. A rope with a basket on the end. Get in together, the chief calls from above. We'll pull you both up.
Let's get in.
You step into the basket and help the girl clamber in with you. Ready! The Sphinx above begin to haul. The rope stretches and grows taut, but the basket doesn't move. The rope starts to make a squealing noise, and the basket lifts a finger width off the floor.
Get out and let the girl go first.
You step out of the basket and call up, "All away!" The Sphinx give a great cry and begin to pull again, and this time the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears up in the sunlight. Then she is gone.
Alright.
A minute passes. Nothing.
Call up.
My earbud sent me a warning right as you said that. So which one are you going for?
Call up.
Of course. Throw down the rope. Nothing. The tunnel echoes very slightly. A noise from the depths. Perhaps a manticore was not alone.
Wait a little longer.
You wait a little longer, settling down on your pack. You can imagine the celebration going on above ground, the tears and grateful reunion. No surprise if they lose track of you down here in the dark. And then, sure enough, the basket and rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you out onto the grass, his daughters with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells you fight bravely, he says. For that I grateful. I invite you with us back to Apani. Will you come?
Yes.
A little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, it is to find the village, before so somber and silent, now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of spins are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Perseus' daughter, before the chief can welcome you to the feast.
The night is glorious.
That night you sleep heavily and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, he declares, you have saved us. You press 2 gifts into your hands. A pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. This opened the South City Gate of Kayara, he tells you. I hope it is use.
Time to go.
You take your leave. The path winds away from Torpani, and soon you are on a downward slope, away from the Shamatanti Hills, through stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Kara is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Kara there's nothing but the viscous wasteland. You'll have no one to trust in the days ahead. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. From your shoulder you feel Jan hop away into the air. I didn't mind the manticore, he hisses, but this place I'm afraid of. Take care, you'll need it. Then he buzzes away into the sky and is gone. You wonder if you will ever see him again.
Maybe we'll find out on the next episode. Wait, is that the end of the game?
Your journey through the Shamutanti Hills is completed. Along the way, you have made no useful friendships, but you have been given 2 useful keys to the cells of the Red Eyes and to the gates of Kara. You have collected some magical artifacts, a vial of blue, nose plugs, and 4 pebbles. You're still armed only with the original sword and have 1 ration and 13 gold pieces, and a spellbook. The adventure continues in Sorcery 2, Chaos City Port of Traps, out now.
Wow, that really was the end of the episode. Cool.
So if anyone wants to continue on our save, like hail. And subscribe!
Jeez.
I'm sorry, when the joke is that obvious, I kind of have to do it, right?
Yep.
Like hail, subscribe. Oh yes, I fancy myself a drink. Oh, do you like ale?
Alright. I need to pee, and I think that's enough for